Ladies and gentlemen, and other friends, welcome. It's been a while. In honor of Mario Day, Mario's birthday, everyone say happy birthday to Mario. Because it's March 10th, it looks like the name Mario. Listen, I'm gonna need you guys to work with me here. What is this music? I picked this music because this is spooky Nintendo music. It sounds like I'm having a nightmare. I suppose that's the point, though, now isn't it? Let me find a place for me to put the chat window. Because I did not plan to do spooky story time on a fucking Wednesday. That's my fault. Okay. Sorry, this image is very good. Desktop. Okay, I need to save this image. Oh baby. Let me get close to the microphone. There we go. Now I can speak normally. I'm writing this post in hopes that someone can tell me that they have experienced something similar. I don't know why I care about that. No matter what anyone says, the situation will be the same, and I still think that I'm losing my shit. Anyways, I hope everyone will take what I'm saying seriously. I know how stupid it sounds. If I were reading this to some random thread on Reddit, I would be skeptical as well, but take everything I say seriously, for everything I'm about to say is 100% true. I go to college at the University of Maine. I'm currently going to grad school here, trying to get my PhD in surface sciences. I'm very passionate about science, and mainly computers. My first computer was an IBM, an old thing that was... Oh my god. An old thing that was revolutionary for the time that left my 11-year-old mind amazed. In '95, I was really into playing Doom and Wolfenstein 3D when I got home from school. My mom and dad never really got mad at me because they were always at work, so no one really told me to stop playing these violent video games. My love for these games continued through the 90s, but really peaked at the beginning of 1996. I was a typical 90s kid, you know, obsessed with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, fanny packs, mullets, classic horror movies. Sorry, you were obsessed with fanny packs? Like, I get having one... Okay, never mind. And even for a stint, I had a Tamagotchi. That was a lot more important than fanny packs, I think. With the coming of school in the fall of 96 came the sadness of not being able to play video games every day, as I did in the summer. However, school did bring the joy of friends. At lunch and sometimes in class, we would talk about games and new releases that would be coming out soon. Back then, we didn't have websites dedicated to video game news. Instead, my friend group relied on Jeff, one of the more, wealthy kids in our friend group, who was subscribed to a video game magazine company that sent out an issue once a month. On the last day of August, Jeff brought the latest issue to school. All of us crowded around the lunch table to catch a glimpse of the new system that was coming out next month. The Nintendo 64. We were all begging our parents that night to help us with money to get the system. It was an amazing system, and it had 4 megabytes of RAM and could handle 3D graphics like none other before. My name is Jeff. Holy shit, did you write that yourself? Oh my god. It's good. Sorry, that sounded really mean. Sorry, I got thrown off. I'd saved a little money from mowing lawns in the summer, but it wasn't quite enough to buy the console come September 29th. I was disappointed, and I cried to my parents to help me out just this once to buy this great piece of technology. But my family was struggling at the time, and me being the understanding and caring child just piped down. Oh yeah, dude, I'm sure. A couple of hard months pass. Was that us? Whatever. And with them came many complaints and jeering from my friend group because I still have not received the console. Sounds like you got shit friends, bud. It would have been a difficult time for me. My parents were fighting and I just wanted an escape. I would have given anything for that damn console. I hated going to school and hearing all my friends show off their high scores in the newest video games and hearing about them finding secret glitches in the newest installment of our favorite games. Months after the initial release in September, November rolled around. Not exactly my favorite time of the year. I don't like the transition from the pretty orange and yellow fall leaves into the roads covered with slick ice and disgusting piles of snow in the parking lots. Jesus, I'm dying. However, there was one thing that is worth my time during that dreaded month. My birthday. 12 years old. Birthdays never really made much sense to me. It's just a celebration of the day someone was born. It's based on the man-made unit of time that's elongated into years. Jesus, calm down, Plato. Christ almighty. Anyways, I hadn't really been looking forward to this birthday because I knew it wasn't going to bring around much. As I said before, my parents had been fighting, and I really didn't expect to get anything from either of them because I'd been so busy with work and putting up with each other. That's why I was very excited to learn on the 19th of that month in 1996, I was getting $250 for my birthday. I came home that night after school to find a letter from my mom, who's always been the more caring of the two. Hi, honey. I hope you enjoyed your birthday today. The big one, too. Congrats! Anywho, your father and I, as you know, have been having disagreements lately. We were alerted today that there is a program for couples that have been having similar disagreements, and we both agreed that we should look into this, and we both fell in love with the idea. Isn't that great, baby? Anywho, the only problem with this is that we were made aware of this a little short notice, so we had to drive south today so we can make it there by tomorrow. The program is going to last about a week. I knew that you were our understanding and kind little boy. Jesus Christ, dude. This dude is writing this whole thing on Reddit? Oh, yeah. This is fucking insane. The program is going to last about a week, and I knew that you were our understanding and kind little boy. So I thought it would be okay to leave you alone until next Tuesday. That would give you the rest of the week and the weekend to yourself. Sorry, you're going to leave your 12-year-old child alone for a week? That feels like a lot. Like, maybe I haven't raised kids, but that feels like a lot. To make up for this, me and your father have decided to give you a little spending money so you can get yourself whatever little toy you want. We do have food in the pantry, but I want to see some of that money go towards food for yourself. Enjoy your weekend. See you next Tuesday. Love you. I didn't know whether to be excited about this freedom or disappointed in my parents for leaving me on my 12th birthday. I mean, that's dangerous. Sorry, I can't. My suspension of disbelief has been dropped at this point. Either way, I had more than $200 to spend on whatever I wanted. To my puny 12-year-old brain, this is a godlike amount of money, and I knew exactly what that was going towards. I'm sure by now you can assume exactly what I did. I took the money out of the envelope, threw on my windbreaker and my old Pro Wings, Jesus, and hopped on the old red bike I named Silver. Why is that? People need to stop writing so... Fucking creative writing 101. Don't put useless bullshit details if it doesn't help describe the scene. Just say you fucking went to the thing and did the fuck... Ugh. You're telling a story. You're not writing... Sorry, I'm angry at this. Anyways. I skidded to a stop in front of the Finger Gym, our local game store. I parked my bike right next to the big window in front of the store and started to waltz in. I really liked the store, and it felt good knowing that I was finally able to get something instead of just glancing around while my friends debated on what new game they should get or what Magic the Gathering card they could sell. I did a quick look around the store, eyeing the old NES and Super NES, making my way toward my prized jewel, the Nintendo 64. I finally put my hands on the box that I'd been waiting to touch for a quarter of the year. I held it up to the light so I could read the line under the name. The Fun Machine. Damn straight it is. That's in the copy. I ran my fingers over the smooth cardboard cover as I started to walk towards the counter. The kid working the counter laid down a cigarette in the ashtray that was next to his Rubik's Cube. Yeah, we get it. You're in the 90s. Now that I think about it, that probably wasn't a cigarette, but I just assumed it was because I was still a small middle schooler that had a lot to learn. It was weed. It was a weed. It was a marijuana. When I got up to the counter, he asked, "Is that all?" Crap, I'd forgotten to get a game. I responded with a quick no and started to look behind him at the selection of games. Most of the ones that were back there were meant for the Super NES. Makes sense, the N64 had been very popular in America. So of course all its games would be sold out. I spoke after glancing around a bit more, desperately trying to find a game. "Do you have any N64 games in the back?" The boy took another drag and blew smoke in my face. T-shirt that says The Fun Machine with an arrow pointing down. T-shirt that says My eyes are down here and pointing down. This fucking dude just blew weed smoke in this kid's face. I don't know. Well, could you go in the back and check for me, please? Jesus, kid, fine. He got off his stool and started towards the back. He pushed a curtain out of the way and started to search. I looked around the store at the plentiful gaming posters and walls lined with board games and models of popular TV show action heroes. He returned after less than a minute with a cartridge in his hand. We only have one left, it looks like. He started to hand it over, but then pulled it back towards him. Wait here a sec. What do we have here? He turned the cartridge over to reveal its face, only to be covered by a sticky note with the words, "Do not, under any circumstances, sell." Now, see here, kid, I've never been much of a rule follower, and this thing has been buried under some shit in the back, so I don't think anyone will be missing this anytime soon. So, he gave a wide grin to reveal his crooked teeth, layered with yellow grime. I'm willing to strike a deal with you. I will sell you this game for a couple extra bucks. My boss probably didn't want to sell it because it must be limited edition or something. So I'll get you this game, just don't tell nobody, alright, kid? Super Mario XXX. Die written on it in Sharpie. He bought the game. Of course, my eager little mind didn't care about what was right and what was wrong at the moment. There was an N64 in front of my face, for God's sake, even with the possible limited edition game. So of course I took the grimy kid up on his deal. Gee, you're very judgmental for an understanding little boy. Even though I knew he was going to pocket those few extra bucks. You didn't know shit, you were 12. I waltzed out of the store the same way I came in, excited for what was about to come about. But only this time I was carrying an N64 and a game instead of $250. Was the N64 $200 at launch? I put the plastic bag into the wire basket that was on the front of my bike. I don't know if I raced home faster then or when I went to the store initially. The ride home took 5 minutes. I just let my bike drop to the ground after I came to a hard stop in front of my garage. I pounced up the steps, leading up to my house. I swung open the door and started to my room. That night, I knew I had a lot of homework, but me being the responsible little boy I didn't start playing right away. But that didn't stop me from eyeing over the box and opening it to save the beautiful system from its cardboard prison. There's so much of him being a good little boy. I carefully set the console on my dresser and plugged it into my box TV. I lead the wire from the infamous M-shaped controller to the port on the front of it. I was smiling through all of this, but stopped suddenly when I realized I'd forgotten something. I didn't even know what game I bought. I quickly but carefully set the controller down on my bed and removed the cartridge from the bag. I ripped off the sticky note to reveal the true face of the game. In multicolored letters read the words, Super Mario 64. I felt like I had won the lottery. It didn't look any different than my friend's cartridges, so I was a little upset that it wasn't actually special edition. But nonetheless, I was still pumped. I finally got what I've been waiting for so long. I could not wait for the weekend. Could it come any sooner? Hang on. I have to see how much is left, because there's a lot left. The next day, in typical middle school boy fashion, I showed off my new game to my friends and rubbed it into the faces of the others who were not fortunate enough to have the system or game. You were just talking about how sad you were that people were doing that to you, and now you're doing it to them? Don't bully, kids. This is not an understanding little boy. He's a piece of shit. If I saw this kid, I would punt him down a flight of stairs. I showed off my new games to my friend over. I was on top of the world for that day, just because of that stupid video game. My friends were happy for me, of course, and we talked about the game and how long it took to beat. I played with my friends at their house after school, and watched them play the game for hours and hours. I didn't want to start to play my own copy yet because it acted as an incentive for me to get through the week. But boy, coming home and seeing it sitting on my dresser and glaring at it in the wee hours of the night was mighty tempting. But nevertheless, I persisted. I made it through the whole week. That Friday, I raced home after school to finally play my new game all night. I dropped my bike off in front of my house, opened the door, and closed it again to lock. Threw my jacket and hat and finally made my way to my sanctuary. I turned on the TV and slipped the gray cartridge into the slot of the machine. Damn, what a feel. Wait. I turned on... What the fuck? Oh, it's Pikmin 2. Okay. I turned on the TV and slipped the gray cartridge into the slot on top of the machine. What a feeling. I turned on the system. I saw the N64 3D logo arise from a ripple of some liquid and start to turn, with a little 3D Mario run around it. What? That's not... Okay. The game started, and I finally started to play. It was already the familiar castle and the start, so I thought I knew what was waiting for me. I made a new save file, and the game and the camera started to move towards Princess Peach. This isn't how the game... This isn't how Mario 64 goes. That's not how it works. Okay, whatever. But something was already off. At first I thought I had just bought a knockoff, a fake game. Maybe that's why it wasn't meant to be sold. At the beginning, there was supposed to be a letter from Princess Peach that read, "Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I've baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach." But what appeared to me that Friday next to Peach's face was a letter that read, Dear player, you don't know what you're getting into. Turn off your system now and get help. Yours truly, the previous owner. Peach. Okay, that was odd. How had the previous person changed the text in-game? Either way, at the time I was too excited to play the game. That mysterious text just didn't faze me at all. I just kept going. I ran up to the castle, walked in, and jumped into the first portrait. I watched Mario fall from the sky and land perfectly on the ground. Toad was waiting there for me to relay information about the level. His speech said,
"If you die, you will die if you continue. Turn off the game or I will kill you."
Creepy as hell, but I just thought that some hacker had the game before me and had just changed the text because they wanted to scare the kid who had it next. Ugh. Jesus. I was reassured when I found that the gameplay had been the same as all my other friends. I jumped around the level and evaded the mushroom enemies. They're called Goombas! I made my way around the level, collecting spinning red coins and hopping off trees. I shot myself out of a cannon and flew up to the top of the mountain to fight the final boss of the level. After that, I was warped back to the starting area in the castle. I made my way through the few levels. I kept going until I collected 18 stars. I knew where I was supposed to go for my first fight with Bowser. I took Mario to the correct hallway, and of course I wasn't surprised when Mario dropped through the floor, because I'd seen it 1,000 times before. He landed on a rock, and the text bubble appeared. Welcome to hell. Huh. That was something new. Must have just been something the hacker put in to scare me again. I jumped around the level and evaded the flames until I reached the end of my first encounter with Mario's infamous enemy, Bowser. But when Bowser turned back around, something else was different. The large turtle dragon hybrid had eyes that looked like black holes. The entirety of them were black, not a single pixel of white being shown. I just passed it off and continued. I beat the boss easily and was warped back up to the castle. But in the corner of the screen, right before the scene transitioned to the castle intro, I saw Bowser get up. He moved away towards the edge of the map and shapeshifted into a tall black humanoid figure. The only thing that the new entity had that resembled the original Bowser were the long pointed teeth protruding from his mouth. I was very freaked out at this point, and I was reluctant to get out of the map. At first I thought the game had glitched, but for some reason I was in part of the castle that I shouldn't have been until later in the game. Looking up for as far as Mario could see was the endless hallway. Now, I'm sure some of you know what I'm referring to. You couldn't even access the area without having the right number of stars. You mean the staircase? That's not a hallway. Okay. Also, those who have played the game know that when you start to walk up the stairs, it seems like they go on forever. Unless you know the backwards jump glitch, or have the right number of stars, of course. The backwards jump glitch? This was 2 months post-launch. Fucking, ugh, okay. I was excited at this point. I'd forgotten about the strangeness of the game for a brief few minutes. I made it this far in one day. I would have to show my friends so that they would know how good I was and how dedicated I am to this game. I placed Mario's little foot... I placed Mario's little foot on the first step, and it started to ascend. After a minute of climbing the stairs, I was ready to give up. But then I remembered something. There should be a picture of Bowser on the sides of the walls leading up to the top. But I haven't seen anything. Immediately... wait, I lost my place. Immediately, after I thought that, I saw the edge of a frame. I jumped up the steps to get quicker and landed in front of the picture. To my horror, I saw a very familiar image. Sitting on a rock was 6-year-old me with my old dog who had died, Lassie. Fuck! Not Lassie. That's the only thing I fucking care about. I was very shaken up by this. All my other excuses for the strange events held no weight now. This just couldn't be explained away. Gay Bowser is the imposter. Gay Bowser is fucking redundant, dude. Of course, my curiosity told me to continue. I started ascending again, only to find more familiar pictures. I walked past a plethora of photos, all of which were me and my family. Not only were they photos themselves familiar, but the order they were in were hauntingly similar to the ones leading up to the staircase to our second level. Remember, this was very early Saturday morning, around 2 or 3 a.m., so my parents weren't supposed to be home yet. But I swear, I heard something on the steps outside my door. This couldn't be possible. I turned around to look, but was only greeted by the darkness outside my room. Mario real? Super Mario in real life. I looked back towards the screen to continue playing my game. I started to slowly creep back up the stairs, and while I did that, I heard more noise outside the room. Now I was scared shitless. I'm thinking, just sitting here playing Mario 64 in your room, and outside you hear, oh, yeah, getting on. Like, this like little muffled Mario sounds. Oh my god. No, I was scared. I dropped the controller and bolted to the door. I grabbed the handle and swung it shut, causing the frame in most of my room to vibrate. I fumbled in the dark with the lock until I heard it click. I pressed my back against the door and let out a deep breath. Mario was still there, waiting for me. Bitch, you need to run. Mario's gonna fucking kill you. I went back to the game, hoping that it was just the restlessness getting to my mind. I wanted to keep playing my game. I just wanted my game and my childhood to be normal like everyone else's. I turned Mario around and started to creep down the stairs in the game. Luckily, I didn't hear anything on the stairs again. Excuse me. I continued down the stairs, listening to the the stairs moan in the game, but not outside my bedroom, thank God. What is this song? Oh, it's from Animal Crossing. Okay. I was wiping the sleep away from my eyes when I put my controller down for a second or two. I removed my hands and stretched a bit, letting out a long yawn. I opened my eyes to be greeted with Mario, staring back at me. But only this time, his eyes were as black as Bowser's were. I couldn't take any more of this. I brought the stick on the joypad down so that Mario could get away from that damn staircase. He started walking, slower than before, with his eyes still dark as night, staring into me. He gradually started to slow down, and I began mashing buttons, trying to get Mario to move just one more inch, but he just stood there. Finally, the character brought up his index finger on his right hand and shook it back and forth along with his head. He brought the corners of his mouth back towards his ears in a grotesque smile. He opened his mouth to reveal teeth that resembled Bowser's. I was beyond trying to convince myself that this wasn't real at this point. Mario turned around and started sprinting up the steps. Along with the steps in the game, I heard a pouncing sound outside my door again. I jumped up and went to my bedside. Whatever was outside my room had finally reached the top of the stairs and stopped. I stood in awe for a few seconds, trying to think of what to do. It started to bang on my door, shaking the frame and sent splinters on my side. I crouched and crawled under my bed. I looked up to watch the door. I was shaking. Whatever was out there kept pounding on the door and the wall. After about 5 more seconds, it stopped. I removed my hands from in front of my face to see what was going on. I looked left and right, and I saw nothing. I let out a relieved breath. I crawled out a bit more to peek around the corner. I look at my TV screen to see that Mario is looking in the opposite direction of the game, standing still in front of the final door. Mario put his hand on the door, and at the same time I heard my door creak a little bit. I was so glad I locked it. Mario removed his hand and turned left to look at one final portrait. This is one that I was not familiar with. I've not seen it in the game nor in real life. It was a picture of a television set. Mario put his hand onto the portrait, and it began to ripple like the other portraits previously when going into a new level. When he touched it, my TV began to crinkle with static. I could barely make out Mario through the white noise as he removed his hand. Everything went back to normal. He took a final look to the left, stared straight into my soul, and opened his mouth for another one of those smiles. He shoved himself into the portrait. My TV emitted the loudest static sound I've ever heard. It then began to ripple and shake. My screen shattered, and sparks flew from the back of the set. I didn't have time to see what was crawling out of its remains. I rolled out from under my bed and started towards the window. I ducked down and hit my shoulder against the window. The glass shattered, and I flung my body out of the room as the set continued to spark and set my drapes ablaze. I hit my roof and tumbled down. The last thing I thought about before rolling off and smashing my head against a concrete sidewalk was the snow. It was the first snowfall of the winter, and I had missed it because I was too busy watching the game. I woke up that Wednesday in the hospital and saw my parents and a nurse next to me. They caught me up on everything that went down. The house caught fire for some unknown reason and was done for. We'd be living in a hotel for the next few weeks until we found a place to rent. I had a nice long break. I didn't have to go to school for a while because of Thanksgiving break, and because of my nasty head injury, I of course did have to return to my educational hell a few weeks later, right before Christmas break. Mario neutral B. Sorry. I'm going to set your house on fire. Teachers were going easy on me. Who would give a kid whose house burned down, sustained a head injury, and whose parents were going through a divorce stressful hours of homework? Returning to school did bring about the joy of my friend's company, however. My friends jumped on me with a ton of questions about my house. I remembered nothing. I got questions about my game after that, and of course, I didn't tell them exactly what happened, because I knew they wouldn't believe me. I just gave short answers and quick answers so they would stop pestering me. Then they brought up Jeff. He had been playing the game down in his basement while his parents were away during the week. Now, I don't know if this is true, but the gang told me that Jeff's parents had returned home to find Jeff under the steps leading to the basement, hanging by the cord of his N64 controller. They told me that the police told his folks it wasn't suicide due to the head wounds and the gouged out eyes. But it hadn't been ruled as murder either, because there was no signs of a struggle. Jeff's dad told me they sold his N64 and copy of Super Mario 64 to the Finger Gym to get the reminder out of their house. Holy shit, you guys. Holy shit. That was fucking scary. The part where he was a good, innocent boy and he got fucking dropped. I'm sorry. This picture of Mario's fucking destroying me right now. It's so fucking good. I can imagine someone legit writing. I can't imagine someone legit writing all of that on Reddit if that were happening. I want you guys to guess. I want you all to guess, out of 10, what rating this has on the creepypasta.com. Out of 10, with 10 being the best, what rating does this creepypasta have? 14. Honestly, I'm surprised it doesn't have a 666, which is a haunted and evil and fucked up number. Because the story was haunted and evil. User AZNB88 says, "This is honestly one of the best pastas I've read in a bit, so I'm struggling to understand why everyone's hating on it so much. Yeah, I feel like some of the details could have been shortened while some of the smaller details could have been explained more, but overall, this was a fun, creepy read. Bravo." User Bender is great says, if this is truly real, I feel sorry for the author. This is a story that shook me to the bone. While reading at it, I kept looking behind me and jumped at every sound I heard, even my dad snoring. If this is not... If this is not... I still think that this would be a trustworthy story to scare your friends and family's pants off. Nonetheless. Bravo, man. This was amazing. I give this author 10 stars. This pasta has a rating of 7.3 out of 10. I am shocked. This was abysmal. The thought of Mario and his tiny little fucking, his tiny clown steppers, like shuffling up the stairs to my house to bang on my bedroom door and fucking try to... Mario's going to kill me. Sorry, I cannot fathom a world in which this isn't the funniest shit ever. Oh my god. So did he haunt? Did Jeff? My name is Jeff. Did he haunt the cartridge? How did it get edited? I would like to see Mario try. Holy shit. Orbit, Mario's like way smaller than you. He would totally bite your ankles off. Just rip him out with his little Bowser teeth. Oh my god. Happy Mario Day, everyone, if you can fucking handle it. If you don't feel sick. Not my ankles. Yeah, you need those, dude. Your ankles are important. Have you ever tried walking without your ankles? I bet you haven't.